Right, Annette, thanks so much for that. We're now going to move on to North Adelaide Heritage Group and Regina Twist.
Hello there, everybody. Good, thank you, John. How's everybody?
Very well.
Good. Now, so it's Regina Twist. Hello to everybody. Good afternoon. I'm the owner of the North Adelaide Heritage Group alongside with my husband, Rodney. I probably have met some of you at some corroboree or some function somewhere in America or Australia, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of you in Melbourne in October, late October. As you know, you may have heard of us, North Adelaide Heritage Group, and we're located in the city of Adelaide. That's the first slide I'm showing you is we have a free network of solar buses, and that's I think it's the only solar bus in the world which loops around the city and connects our properties to all of the attractions of the city. You can see now, shortly I think, a map of the city of Adelaide, and the blue dots and the red dot up there are all our properties. They're boutique accommodation, and we're located in the upscale neighbourhood full of historic buildings. There's about 1,800 historic buildings dating from 1836 onwards in the city of Adelaide. Now, the city is about 1.3 million people. The state only has 1.5 million, so you can see a lot of us live in the city. And we've got suburbs that stretch for 40 kilometres. So we're quite a long, narrow city, and we're sort of between the Adelaide Hills and the sea. The attractions in the city are things like the Central Market, which is, I've just moved the cursor, hopefully you'll be able to see it. It's around about that location there. I hope you can see that. And that's the oldest food market in the whole of Australia. A very interesting place to visit. It's open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays, and that's where you'll see all the migration of the wonderful food that we have in South Australia. The other important locations to visit while you're in Adelaide are the South Australian Museum, which right now has an exhibition of early photographs of the first white contact with the Aboriginal race of people that were the occupiers of Australia, of course. And that's extremely interesting, but it also has probably the largest collection of Aboriginal artefacts in the world. So it's a must-stop destination for anyone that's interested in that sort of thing. We also have a small exhibition on the Mawson Antarctic expeditions to the Antarctic, and again, very interesting. Next door to that, we have the South Australian Art Gallery, which is the finest collection. It holds the finest collection of colonial art, and there you can see the transition of the first European interpretation of Australian art going on to when the Europeans finally seeing the difference between the light, Australian light and European light. And then further down the street we have the Botanical Gardens and the National Wine Centre as well. And so it's an interesting city to visit. I'm starting now with the Bishop's Garden, which is one of our properties. This is an 1899 villa, which is located in North Adelaide, and it has 2 bedrooms. So most likely we have 2 people staying, but you can have up to 4, and it has its own private garden. And you will see that it's very lovingly decorated with antique furniture, but it has a modern kitchen and a very swish bathroom as well. Here you can see, I think most of you may have heard of our fire station, and you may know about the fire engine suite, but we also have this very contemporary suite upstairs, which overlooks North Adelaide. In the foreground, or the background, you can see Rodney in the pink shirt showing somebody the fire tower. That's the first fire tower built in South Australia. This suite is very nice for a couple again. It has 2 bedrooms and complete living facilities, as you can see. We really, the collection of furniture is worth a lot of money, and we love it. We love every piece. It's all been selected. Every tiny little piece has been hand selected by myself or Rodney. This is Buxton Manor. Buxton Manor is I guess, our pride. It's a 1909 arts and crafts mansion set on half an acre of gardens. Bear in mind, this is right in the heart of the city, so it's very unusual even in the city of Adelaide. Arts and craft is a bit like your arts and craft. If you know the Procter Gamble house in LA, this is a stone and brick interpretation of the same sort of house. So just as people in your country were building these houses, so people in our country were building them. But this is the only one left in our state, so it's pretty important. And it was the home of Sir Joshua Simons, who wrote the Australian Constitution, the fine legal point. So it was kept for those two reasons, that it was arts and craft and that it was Sir Joshua Simons' home. Now, it's got 4 huge suites, and here's a picture of the garden. That's the height of summer, so you can see where the City of Roses, our Mediterranean climate, is fantastic for wine and fantastic for roses. So if you come any time between October and May, you're most likely to see something like that, with lots of beautiful roses and, of course, native plants as well. And in our garden here, we have native rosellas, we have native owls, and we have quite a few of them, little possums, those furry little creatures that hang out in trees. Now, this slide shows you the Sir George Low Esquire apartment, which was Rodney's great-uncle. He lived in the house in the 1930s, and unfortunately we didn't inherit. We had to buy it ourselves in 1989. And you can see, you probably think, oh, that's the foyer to the whole Buxton Manor, but it's not. It's just the foyer to that particular suite, which sleeps 2 people. So very large living room, as you can see, with beautiful South Australian antiques, not European. And then we've got the very spacious bedrooms. Our bedrooms have queen and king beds. There's a couple of doubles for children, etc. The next slide is what we call the butler's suite, and this, of course, is where the butler used to prepare his drinks and so forth for the members of the house. This particular room is where the gentleman used to retire for cigars and port, so a very nice old-fashioned feel about it. The second to last suite is the garden and loft suite, and that's a 3-bedroom suite which looks out onto the half an acre of gardens. It's very, very popular. In the North American summer, we often used to have, and we still do, parents coming to visit their children doing a semester at one of our universities, and they'd quite often stay here, and then the children, well, young adults really, would come and visit. Here you can see the living room with the lovely garden through the French doors, and just outside you can see a 100-year-old kumquat tree. It's very unusual. Most kumquat trees are grown in pots. This is our Musica Viva apartment. The lady that used to live in this suite in the 60s, 70s and 80s was Lady Eva Dubsky, and she was a Viennese refugee after World War II, and she helped to start the Musica Viva ensemble. And from this apartment, she ran all the subscriptions from all over Australia. So that's why we called it Musica Viva, after her epic work, really. But as you can see here, a very nice bed. It comes from Mullaney in Queensland, and we've stretched it from being a small double into a king. So very unusual. It has the original porcelain bed knobs. And here you can see the original billiard room. And this is the drawing room now of Musica Viva, but this is where Sir Joshua would have played billiards and consulted with the elders of the state during the Constitution, when he wrote the Constitution. We've also got a little chauffeur's cottage called Paprika Cottage. Now, that's actually named after my father's nightclub. He was a refugee as well from Europe, and he came over here and established a nightclub, would you believe? And some of that money that he made went into that cottage, and that's why we called it Paprika Cottage. You can see just above the refrigerator there's a little lead-light window, and that's actually got paprika, the vegetable, outlined sort of in memory of my dad. It's a very comfortable little cottage to stay in. Here's my other half, Rodney. As you can see, he loves English things, so that's a Rolls-Royce long wheelbase, same as Camilla Parker Bowles, you know, the present Queen-to-be, I suppose, in England. She has a similar car. And that's our famous fire station. Rodney's leaning on an old fire alarm, which we hauled back from the country in the back of my old MG, which was quite a feat at the time. Here he is. He's very exuberant, as you can see, and he's wearing the fireman's helmet. That's in the place, and also there's a uniform, and you can see above the beds the little fireman helmet lights. They're Art Deco, fireman pillows, and of course the 1942 International truck, which came from America during World War II, because the Americans thought that the Japanese would come and bomb Adelaide, and of course we had the factories manufacturing things, so they gave us some of these fire trucks, and unfortunately it was never used to put out fires in factories. It was used in the bush. It's a bit slow for the bush, so it was retired pretty quickly, and we ended up buying it and putting it in the bedroom. So it's quite a unique bedroom equipment, really, isn't it? Here's another picture. Now Rodney's 6'2", so he's quite tall. You can see the extent of the room, the king-size bed, and there's a sofa bed where the sofa is, and there's a kitchen and a big bathroom with a jacuzzi as well, and underfloor heating. So quite a large room, and very unique and extremely popular. This is another little suite at the rear of our cottage called, rear of fire station called the Logier Suite. And then we also have a lodge, a Freemason style lodge, which is just for 2 people, made of bluestone. Bear in mind these are close to all the fabulous restaurants of North Adelaide, which is a very upscale suburb, and so people walk to the restaurants. We also have room service menus, Indian and Italian. This is another one of our properties. You can see we have a vast array of properties. This is a 3-bedroom townhouse, great again for families, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. And then we have an array of little cottages as well. This is the caretaker's cottage attached to the lodge. Very economical way of coming to stay some time with us. And that's Chapel Cottage interior. They're all beautifully decorated. Sussex Cottage, another charming little cottage, 2 bedrooms. Again, just around the corner from really fantastic little restaurants. And bear in mind, all the tour operators pick up from us. Everyone in this state, everybody knows each other. So there's we often talk to each other about guests coming and going, and make everything go very, very smoothly. Another little cottage called Stanley Cottage, which we have. Here you can see me as a brunette. You probably know me as a blonde, but I actually am a brunette, and I'm sitting in the garden. All our little cottages have little gardens where people enjoy having glasses of good South Australian wine. Cafe suite, another Tuscan sort of inspired suite. Champagne suite, another one. And that's just our little breakfast menu, which gives you the different options. We leave provisions for either a continental, an English, or a European breakfast. And that's all accessible on our website. I don't know. There we are. There's our family. There's the family twist. Rodney on the right, my very tall 6'6" son, William, and myself there, ready to welcome your guests and you to come and stay. And don't forget, if you ever are visiting Adelaide, we're very happy to host you for a night. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you have a good evening, and I'll say goodbye now, unless there are any questions.
I do have one question. I
Sure.
have a question from Carolyn about the bus. Is it Tindo? It's been a while since I've been in Adelaide.
Yes, Tindo solar bus.
She's asked, where does it circle in Adelaide and how frequent?
It's every 30 minutes, and it circulates around inner Adelaide to every major part of Adelaide, and all those icons I told you about, the museum and the library and the art gallery and Central Market, and it goes past all our properties as well. So our guests can get on and hop on and off every 30 minutes if they like. Well, it goes around every 30 minutes basically, and it's 7 days a week. Starts about 8 o'clock and finishes about 6. On Fridays it finishes at 9 p.m. because it caters for the Central Market customers. Is that okay?
Fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Regina. And I think you can all agree that often with itineraries in Australia, people will be staying at the normal hotels such as the Intercon and the Hiltons of the world, but when you get to Adelaide, it's really refreshing to be able to experience, the true Adelaide feel, and that's what you'll get at North Adelaide Heritage Group, a real slice of South Australia